Good morning, I'm VJSA aka NGUON SOKGENG. Welcome back to the early talk show. The forecast for today is not so good and it is predicted to be raining at the afternoon. So prepare your brolly and don't get sick on this kind of weather. It's 6 a.m. in the morning and yes, we always look at the time and schedule every day, but we have taken it for granted. Time is very important as we sometimes forget that we cannot buy it back, and that's why today we choose a topic that is related to time. And today's topic is the time management behind the successful story of students. And we are not forgetting the most important part of this program is our guests or the speakers. So we have three guests for today's shows and they all are the outstanding and most successful students in the schools. So let's welcome our guests and let our speakers introduce themselves.
So, good morning, host, and good morning, everyone. My name is Kesey, and I'm currently a supervisor at one insurance company.
Yes, good morning host and everyone. I'm NUCHTA, a former scholar from University of Auckland, majoring in business administration.
Hi, good morning, host and everyone. My name is YIEKLEANG. I'm currently a marketing manager at one of the commercial bank in Cambodia.
Thank you for your introductions and that's so wonderful. And how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
I'm good, thank you.
I'm also doing good, but it's just that at the bank during this peak it's pretty packed and occupied. But how are you doing, house, during this kind of day?
I'm doing great, thank you. And I've heard that you guys were not only studying while you were in school. Can you guys tell the audience more about that? Can we start from Kesey, please?
Of course, back then I was majoring in Bachelor of Art in Professional Communications, and mostly I've got about 4 to 5 subjects to study in each academic semester. But once I entered the formal years, I started to find job, and it's getting a little bit more complicated from then on as I was working and studying at the same time for the whole academic years.
For me, back in university, I was very hectic since I took 2 majors at once. So basically, I had over 10 subjects to study.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Ling?
For me, I can say that back then during the university time, I was only study one major, which was English literature. But at the same time, I also spend most of my time for doing volunteering and exploring things in the society as well.
Okay, thank you. And two things at one time, that's not an easy task. So how can you guys manage your time very well and lead to the success? Can we start from NUCHTA, please?
Thank you, host. For me, how I manage my time is quite simple. I try to spend around 1 to 1.5 hours after dinner every day to brainstorm and recap what I had just learned during the day. And by doing this, it saves a lot of time and energy because when the exams came, I didn't have to spend much time on reviewing since I have a lot of subjects to focus on. Besides, I also set aside some time for myself to actually rest and relax and to allow myself to have some space.
So for me, time management was a tough thing, and I can say it's one of the most frequent asked question for me back then as well. So back to me when I was in D1, that when I first started to do volunteer things, and I first started with being a volunteer in one of the event, and then I applied for a youth run organization which was called ISEC, and I first joined as a member. And I can be honest that things were pretty chill and fun until I got selected as one of a team leader. Then that's when I start to watch out for time management because things were twice more work than before. And back then, I was trying to set a routine and clear timeline on what time to what time is for school and what time is for ISEC or for volunteer. And I can be honest that I survived the situation pretty well until I got into a higher position, which was a vice president of the function. And then it was so tough. I can say it was the toughest moment. And I managed my time based on the hours, and I divided in hours and also weekdays and weekend or holidays. And things were very well planned and very detailed. And I also like divided based on the prioritization scale as well.
Thank you, YIEKLEANG. How about Kesey?
For me, nothing much different from the two speakers. It is not easy at all to manage your time as I need to be responsible for both my work and my study. I even used to try out some strategy that's shared by the two speakers. But one effective method that I used when I was in the university is that when I'm at work, I only work, no school works involved, but like when I enter school mode, no other things besides studying involved either. I define and separated the time clearly before entering the class or office so that I can get my brain ready for the next hours I was going to spend. Like this helped me a lot so that I won't mess things up, like to do just one thing at a time. Yes, that's for me.
Wow, thank you. And that is the tricky thing for students, and I have been through that too. The next question for me is, what are the challenges or struggles that you have been through? Can we start from YIEKLEANG, please?
So one of the most challenging or one of the challenge that I faced back then was that my time management skill weren't really a work-life balance once. And back then I was trying so hard to balance between my school and my volunteering, while I honestly forgot that I myself as a person does need a personal space as well. So I can say that the challenge for me were I sometimes had a burnout or break out or stressed out because things were too packed and I did not really balance things well for myself and also having time for my family.
Thank you, YIEKLEANG. And Kesey, can you answer, please?
I also like share the same struggle with Liang, but to me, the more challenging challenge at that time would be the overload of the works and assignment. As I remember, assignments like given were piled up like the leaves in the autumn, and the time given was pretty limited, so it's really hard to submit everything in time. And as I was a full-time employee, meeting up with like the team was really rare, so I need to do like most of the things with depending the list from the team discussions, and of course it like took so much more time than doing with the team.
Thank you, Kesey. How about NUCHTA?
Yes, thank you. Not far different from the rest of you. One of the biggest challenge for me was that I barely have much time for my family and even for myself. Like every day was a busy day. On weekdays, I had to go to school both morning and afternoon, came back very tired and exhausted, and even on the weekends, I had to do assignments from both schools. I sometimes got very stressed out when I have too many works to get done.
Okay, thank you for your very interesting answers. And rainbows comes after rain, so I predicted that you have gained a lot of advantages from that too. So can I know what are the benefits that you get from your time management skills? Can we start from Kisai, please?
Thank horse. The very sure thing that you will gain throughout the time management is that the management skill that you gain throughout the time, and of course one more thing is the working experience. Once you apply for a job, this would be one of the main qualities those HR team require you to have. Collecting working experiences during your university age would help you to apply for a higher or better positions upon you finish your degree, as you won't need to spend like more years after graduation just to work in order to fill your working experience part in your CV, just like some other fresh graduates do. It saves you times to reach your dream job, and it's help you to get successful at the younger age as well.
Thank you, Kisai. Can we hear from NUCHTA, please?
Yes, there are quite a number of benefits. Like my productivity has increased rapidly as I try to challenge myself. I have learned a lot throughout this journey, especially to even further manage my time properly and wisely. Time management helps me prioritize my work so that I ensure I have enough time available to complete every assignment. Through this, I get to put a lot more effort and thoughts into the work that I'm doing. Also, prioritizing my tasks and giving myself enough time to accomplish them can help reduce my stress levels as well.
Thank you, NUCHTA. And how about YIEKLEANG?
Okay, so for me, I can say that there's an old tales always says, if you put effort in doing something, then you will receive the result one day. Just like you planning a plan, and you will get the fruit from it one day. And it's the same things go to me. And those experience from different roles, from volunteering, from schools, the time management, the tough time, the hard work that I committed does benefit to my career growth and development, which I can be honest that's make also like one of the reasons that make me who I am today.
Thank you so much for your answers. And the very last question from me is, what are your recommendations to your junior? Can we start from NUCHTA, please?
Yes, thank you. My recommendation to those who plan or are taking 2 or more majors at the same time like I did is simply just to have some time for yourself to actually relax, because taking a break is very crucial. It gives you time to refresh yourself and you can come back for better. Don't be stressed out. I believe that once you finally found your way to manage your time wisely and effectively, then nothing to be worried about.
Thank you, NUCHTA. And how about YIEKLEANG?
I can say that my message is quite the same thing, so I'm just going to add on. So for me, I can say that just do it, because university time is short. You only have around 3, 4, or 5 years, depend on the school, so just do it. But one message for me is that time management may sound easy at the first place, but it can be one of the most difficult thing ever.
Wow, thank you. And how about Kisai?
Nothing much from me either. Like, working while studying might be tiring or exhausting, but you will later find it worth it. So if there's any chance to be a part of any working space, go for it. Just be responsible and manage your time carefully. I believe that you all can do it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for the recommendations and your time for today. It's such a very interesting morning discussion for our talk show, and as time is limited, our talk show has come to the end. And thank you so much to the speakers as well as the audience. Goodbye, and we'll catch you up with the next episode. Bye bye.